Go ahead and take a look at Stanford now. Most of you will already know that Stanford's tagline, to change lives, change organizations, and change the world, is really what they live by. So your essays need to reflect that. One more thing, the why is way more important than the what. So let's move on to a Stanford What Matters Most essay. I focused on the window at the tarmac below. At age 16, I was alone, anxious, and afraid to tell the passengers on either side of me that I would be entering a new world alone. Flying from my home in a developing country to a developed city, I started my journey into adulthood with only a few $100s and 2 duffel bags of clothes. It would be long before I could see my family and friends again. Passport control sent me to a social service office with translators and support for new non-English speaking immigrants. Apparently, I needed more than my hand gestures to convince them that I could make it around town without help. Despite my jet lag, the office gave me an English literacy exam and assigned me to an ESL program. They also registered me for high school near a family friend's house. While he had nowhere for me to live, he helped me rent a room in a neighbor's house. Given the rent price, money would run out soon. So my next task was to secure a job. The fast food restaurant across from my school hired me part-time for the kitchen. The conflicting priorities of work, school, ESL, and the responsibilities of adulthood in a new country were too much for this 10th grader to bear. I skipped meals to save money for a thrift sweatshirt that I could wear on top of another to stay warm. I missed assignments because the kitchen duties exhausted me. I moved from one person's rental room to the next for the least expensive rent. Even with all the juggling, I found myself homeless. I slept in a booth at a 24-hour coffee shop. I showered at school and tried to stay safe and warm in the 22 below degree Fahrenheit weather. On those nights, I thought about giving up and returning home. My financial burden had pushed me into a corner. I ran out of options and took a full-time overnight shift at a fast food restaurant from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. while attending school at 9 a.m. Although difficult to handle, this decision was a turning point in my story. Working the late night shift for 3 months helped me with my finances. While I never told anyone about my burdens, these struggles gave me grit, determination, and focus. Looking back on my journey, I realized that growth matters most to me. Being forced into poverty revealed an untapped ability to seek out my best self. I persevered through hardships, recovered from setbacks, and adapted to sudden changes at school, work, and community. These experiences unearthed my resilience and fearlessness. These qualities gave me the audacity to choose growth over comfort at a young age when I decided to reach for my potential by pursuing higher education. Understanding that I would be incurring a large educational debt, the knowledge I would gain was invaluable. Later in my mid-20s, progress was again the pivotal driving force behind my decision to leave the current country. I had been working hard to build roots in that country, but the opportunity to work at the heart of technological innovation intrigued me. And today, growth is the principal reason that inspires me to follow my vision and write this essay. Growth matters most to me because it has made me determined to carve my path when none was available. Today, it gives me the courage to push my limits. Tomorrow, it will give me the wisdom to inspire others to reach their full potential beyond their personal and environmental limitations. Growth is the essence of life. Um, I love this essay. I thought it was poignant, it was powerful, it illustrated a deeply personal journey. I took out some of the details because my client asked me to. He didn't want to be identified, but it really does demonstrate his determination. These are qualities that are really valuable to business leaders and particularly to Stanford. Through his vivid storytelling, he effectively communicates what matters most to him, and that's growth. The narrative shows ties the applicant experiences to the value of growth, which I think is, part of the why. He shows rather than tells. His why is about showing, not telling, and how these experiences have shaped his character and his aspirations. What I wish we could have accomplished, again, we're kind of limited in word count with many of these essays, is how these qualities have also impacted others. Another really important aspect of Stanford. So, how do his actions impact others? Which is, of course, part of GSB's mission and tagline.